Hey guys, Kyle the Dead Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Eden Zero Chapter 83. And so this was something that just happened. Uh, yeah. Okay, so I guess to start off, if you guys can hear that in the background, I'm sorry. I'll try and talk over it as much as I can. Uh, my grandparents are visiting me for a while, so I'm gonna be so yeah. You're probably gonna hear a lot of that when I'm recording videos. But yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about this chapter, because yeah, Shiki is dead, and honestly, I have I really have no clue what to think about this. I mean, right off the bat, I gotta commend Mashima very, like, honestly, for just killing Shiki, but it came so quickly and left me in utter shock just from how much I was not expecting, him to take it that far. That honestly, even though I managed to write down some notes about it, even I'm like, what the hell just happened here, Mashima? Like, seriously, it's that freaking out of control here. Now, obviously, the big question here is whether or not Shiki's going to stay dead permanently. And that I'm a little more skeptical on, but at the same time, it's such a sudden and unexpected turn that even if I am skeptical, I'm also genuinely uncertain where Mashima plans to take the story from here, because don't get me wrong, Shiki is kind of an important character, but narratively, if you really look at it, uh, Eden Zero kind of operates very similarly to Fairy Tail, in the sense where just how in Fairy Tail the main character was Lucy. You could make the argument here that the main character is Rebecca. So in that sense, it's I mean, this time Mashima's been given a little more leeway in order to kill off Shiki. Now, do I think now do I so but now do I think he's permanently dead? Again, like again, there's leeway to support it, but I don't think so, because 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 the one thing that really makes me say he's not is that narratively, if Shiki comes back, I think he's gonna be a much different person, because Mashima did something with Shiki in this chapter that I wanted him to do with Natsu. What he did is that he basically used Draken Joe as a means to basically he broke Shiki down completely. As you saw in this chapter, Shiki showed genuine fear, like he was actually afraid of Draken Joe. So in that sense, what he really did, and he really like instilled a lesson of fear into Shiki. And don't get me wrong, Mashima did do that to Natsu, but with Natsu it didn't feel like it carried over as much as I would have liked. But here, because Draken Joe thoroughly broke our heroes down, especially Shiki, in every conceivable way possible, if Shiki comes back to life, he's gonna drastically develop as a character and take things much more cautiously. But at this point, like, I don't even know how that can be done, or if that's even the case. Like, again, even the fact that I'm just right, even the fact of what I'm just telling you and what I think is gonna happen, I have no clue what the hell Mashima was gonna do from here. Like, he literally, in some ways, you could say, wiped the entire slate clean here with this chapter. Like, he basically wiped it clean, where basically anything can happen now. And it's like, again, obviously, I think part of it is the shock talking, but like really, there's so many possibilities of what Mashima could do. Now, again, arguably, I think Shiki is going to come back, and come back, but yeah, there's just so many avenues in which even in that sense, there's so many avenues which you can take. Um, so one other thing that really stuck out to me about this chapter is that supposedly we're already headed into a time skip. And one thing I really want to see from, if that's the case, one thing I really want to see specifically, um, is of course how our heroes have developed, obviously, because with them, because obviously with pretty much with obviously with what happened after that, obviously they would have, after what's going to happen after this, obviously they would have grown stronger in some way or another. But one thing, but obviously with a good majority of them working under Drac and Joe now, they would have to do things more under the radar. So to me, in terms of showing how they got stronger, or like just the details of their plan going forward to escape, how we see anything of that play out, I want to see our heroes operate more covertly. Like I want them to like operate, just learn to operate on a little bit more of measure of subtlety, of just kind of slowly, of us just slowly seeing slowly kind of inch by inch, kind of seeing how they developed, like just to show that they're not they're not completely going to expose themselves outright yet, or something like that. Because again, if all of our heroes are going to be working on in basically Belial Gore at this point, then yeah, that they would have to operate under some manner of secrecy, I think. The other thing, here is too, is that with how much of a monster Drac and Joe has proven to be, escape honestly really is the only option. Like there's very few options I can see here where our heroes end up actually defeating like end up going into a round 2 with Drac and Joe and defeating him, unless, and this is a pretty big unless, Shiki, if Shiki's going to survive this again, which he probably will, the only way I can see Drac and Joe being defeated is if Shiki completely awakens his overdrive after being brought from death. That's the part where my skepticism of death being permanent comes into play, because Mashima not only could Mashima be using his death as a means to make that happen in order for Shiki to awaken his overdrive power, or completely awaken it. But if you look at Shiki after he was shot, you'll notice there wasn't as much blood as there should be, especially for being shot in the head. So yeah, something is definitely up there. Either him being part machine or whatever's going on there. And yeah, again, it's kind of frightening how thoroughly the Eden Zero crew were defeated, because as we see in this chapter, it wasn't just our main heroes, but the Starshines themselves were also thoroughly defeated. And one thing to take away from their defeat specifically is that, if you really think about it, with Mashima showing us of how easily the 4 Starshines were defeated, he's basically showing us that how the threats in space have grown even more deadly than when Ziggy had ruled as Demon King. So that enhances the need even more for our heroes to develop and grow stronger. Especially if they plan to go into the Saga Cosmos. Like, I imagine if Drac and Joe himself is just is that strong, imagine how the threats in the Saga Cosmos are gonna be. Like, they're gonna be insane powerful. Drac and Joe is this freaking insane of an antagonist. So yeah, they really need to like get stronger now. And now, in terms of how the 4 Starshines, Pino and Happy, can do that, seeing how their machines remains to be seen, I imagine that they'll probably like upgrade themselves in some way. But yeah, something clearly has to change here, because yeah, at the end of the day, like, the thing he like at the end of the day, the freaking if the and because at the end of the day, this is actually very interesting. If we're going into a time skip next chapter, this is actually a very unique way in order to do a time skip because usually when someone does a time skip, it usually happens after you've gotten to a certain after a certain specific turning point in the series. Like with One Piece, for instance, it didn't go into a time skip until after our heroes made it to the Grand Line. But here, our heroes haven't even made it into the Saga of Cosmos yet, and we're already going into time skip. So in that was it's a little bit unique compared to most time skips, I'd say. Now, and with the possibility of us heading into a time skip, the one major thing I need addressed at this point is the importance of Rebecca being a Blue Garden or something like that. And what is it specifically about Rebecca that made Dragon and Joe want her? Unless the latter part is really just a business deal, which at this point is really sounds like it just from the way Dragon Joe was talking about Rebecca being his. But yeah, that Blue Garden name is a must that Mashima can't leave that hanging any longer. He needs to address that. So hopefully we will. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Mr. Crunchyroll. Dead Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.